Hey guys, how you doing? This is Clair. I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately, but about to start doing that a lot more, getting more videos up, probably a couple of videos up every week. And right now, I'm making a video for pre-YCS Texas. I'll be down there, and basically I'm just going to talk about all the decks you're going to see down there and what the best side deck choices against those decks are, and hopefully this helps. Let's start off with Scraps, this deck. I personally just think, don't have a lot to say about them. Scraps are a bad deck, in my opinion. I mean, they're decent, not really tier 1, tier 0 like some of the other decks, but probably tier 2. They're fun, but not really going to get there, especially not in this format because it's so fast. The best cards to side against them, Tuner Scheme, I mean, main warning obviously, or just basically outplay them. That's what I say. Next deck I got for you guys, you're going to see a lot of, probably 30% of your games, are going to be against this, is of course Black Wings. The reason for is that Samurais came out, you guys all know, the stupid retardedness, coin flip deck, whatever. Black Wings beats them because they have 3 Icarus, and 3 Icarus basically main decking 6 extra MSTs, so it's obviously ridiculous. They can't resolve United, they can't resolve Gateway, and it's just a, stop tuning. Black Wings has a really good matchup against that, and they're just a solid beatdown deck in general, plus they're really good against anti-meta. And people are going to be, probably playing that, and obviously the BGB, there's going to be a lot of that there. But Black Wings, expect to see a lot of Black Wings. The best cards to side against them, I personally think, are Starlight Road. It duels against Lightsworn too, if you actually see it. But I mean, Starlight Road stopping Delta Crow and Icarus is pretty much their biggest plays. Yes, some of them do run 7 tools, but 7 tools pretty much faded out in this meta, so you won't see a lot of that anymore. You can also side in Consecrated Right against them. If you have Consecrated Right, Consecrated Light, and Star Road, then it's pretty much you have a lockdown because they can't even Icarus you, and you pretty much win. But yeah, expect to see a lot of Black Wings. The next deck you're going to see a whole bunch of, even maybe more so the Black Wings, maybe 4 out of your 10 rounds, not just 3, is Samurais. You're going to see a lot of Samurais because it's new, it's popular, it's ridiculous in Japan, it's ridiculous here. It's a really lethal deck. I mean, they only need to open, maybe 1 Gateway or 2 United. There's so many different opening variants there. Plus they have Shien, which just negates so many different decks, and it's a really nutty deck. I mean, it's really good, but it's also really sacky. So expect to see that a whole lot. The best cards to side against that, I have a lot of them. I'm actually going to do a separate side video for that because you guys have a lot of options already that you want to side for all the main decks. It's just I'm going to give you a really in-depth detailed, maybe 10 or 12 different cards based on what decks you're running to side against them. So we'll pass them for now, and we're going to move on to other stuff, and you guys can check that out later. The next deck you're going to see is Sabers. A lot of that. Obviously you guys know me for that. Love Sabers. It's a very, very good deck. Probably won't play more than 1. It's one of the more expensive decks in the meta, but it's still, people, I don't know why, it lost its popularity, but it's a very, very good deck. Has a good matchup. I mean, your pass rolls against Sams because you can stall. Expect to see maybe 2 of it, maybe only 1. The best cards to side against them are Gotham Decalls, Banishers, Thunder Kings, and my personal favorite is Mind Crush because you're stopping Dark Soul searches, and you usually will always hit 1 with a card. It's not going to be dead because they're doing so much searching, and a lot of times you hit 2, and you can really mess up plays with like Bogarden, blah blah blah. The next deck you're going to see there, Fish OTK. It's my teammate Robbie Stargell's favorite deck. He's probably the best Fish player out there, and I have had the opportunity to test against it enough and know how much of a annoying ass deck this deck is, and it's really good. You might only play 1 or 2, depending on how deep people's pockets are in Texas. I don't know. I don't live down there. The deck's $50 to make, so as opposed to like 500 for other decks like Samurais and Sabers and all that stuff. The best cards to side against it would be Crevice, from Different Dimension, because it's like 2 DD Crows. It's better than DD Crow by far, in my opinion. Dimension Fisher, die-fi. DD Crow Roar stops the deck a lot. Robbie was talking about that earlier. And Goes in Match. Goes in Match being because it's going to be in your side for Samurais. I'm going to talk about that when I talk about the Samurai section, but it stops them from sinking, say, like in the formula, because you have 2 waters. They go pitch, fish, board. They can't sink in the light because of it's a game mechanic. But yeah, look out for that deck a lot. It's pretty scary. Probably want to play, like I said, 1 of them because you're going to see a lot more Black Wings than Samurais. And but definitely have crevices on your side for that deck. Next deck I'm going to go into is Grave Feeders. I don't believe you need any extra side against this because you should already have Consecrated in your side. Because Consecrated stops Keepers, Infernity, and Black Wings. So Consecrated is a very good card. Obviously, if you're not maining MSG, you should be because of Samurais. That stops the Necroride plays. Nulman Across, that's really good because it stops Spy and the Searcher. And You also have some people like they're scared of if you're really scared of Royal Tribute, you have gold, you know, because they go, you know, Royal Tribute guy, gold, blow up their, you know, back row, blow up their neck or valley, swing over the guy. You can get, you know, ridiculous plus off of it, or Gemini Imp because you don't actually lose your hand, you know, in case you have an all monster hand. So that could be the better card, but I really just don't. I mean, also if you're running Monarchs, side in Puppet Plants. I mean, Puppet Plants probably are going to be in your side because of Samurais. But you can also, it's a multi-use card against this because if you're running Monarchs, Puppet Plants is a brain control for you against this deck because they're all spellcasters. So yeah, just look out for that and make use of that card. The next deck you're going to see is anti-meta. You know, DCKs, you know, Dinos, Thunder Kings, all that stuff. I don't think the deck is very good. I think sometimes it just gets there because your opponent can't draw an answer to like Dino or, you know, Thunder King or whatever because they have an all-search hand or whatever. Like, you know, against Sams, you can get there with the Thunder King because like you get a Thunder King and they could have, you know, Rhoda, double smoke signal, whatever. You know, situations can happen in any matchup. But I honestly just think outplay this deck. You don't really need a sideboard. If you want side, I mean, you bottomless is smashings, but you should mainly bottomless anyways. I mean, smashings if you're really scared of it. Trap holes if you're really scared of it because it hurts the deck a lot. But I mean, most decks main book anyways and let you swing over all these problems. Next deck we got is Infernity. It's lost a lot of popularity lately, but expected to, you know, be there. It's just it's still a really solid deck if played absolutely correctly. But you should already have you know, crevices in your side. Like you know, I keep talking about that card. It's a really, really solid card. It stops them. Consecrated stops them. Obviously, DD Crow stops them, and Trapstone is very good against them too. And so is Thunder King, which is another staple. So like a lot of these cards are, you know, multi-purpose, and you already know about them. I'm just saying, trying to give you guys advice on what to side in which matchups. Glad Beast, the deck that's really been dying out. It's always huge at the starter format, so you'll probably see a lot of it more in March 1st because everyone always, for some reason, reverts back to Glad Beast, even though it's just, I don't know, just doesn't seem to have enough support right now. Like, it needs one more card. I feel like it's always on the verge of being, you know, great again. The best card to side against them would be Oppression if you're not manning it already. Gnome Extermination, because I personally think the best way to kill Glad Beasts is kill the back row, don't kill the monsters. The monsters will just get right back. Some people still side Jujus, you know, Legend Juju Master. Cyber Dragon's very good because it beats Machina, and Cyber Dragon's also a good thing against you know, anti-meta because it runs over the beaters. Cyber beats them because you have a beater, and a quarter of Agony is probably my personal favorite. Really wrecks them a lot, or just, you know, standard MT removal like Dust MST. But don't expect to see a lot of Glads. Probably won't even play it, but you might play one. People think it's good against Sams, but it's not. So that's just a heads up. Next deck we got is Herald, Perfection. That deck. You haven't seen a lot of it lately. The deck's, it's like coin flip. It's kind of like Sam's. We tested a lot, you know, me and Robbie, and we found out that basically whoever went first was winning that matchup. And you don't want to go to an event, you know, with a 50-50 matchup. But if you're scared of Heralds, you see a lot down there. I mean, you always have Volcanic Queens and Lava Golems. Personally, depends on the deck you run. I think Golem kills 2 guys. Volcanic Queen is definitely better if you're running GBs because it gives you the it leaves the Sonic Bird or the Manju or, you know, whatever to run over and tag out and kill and set up for the, you know, the Chariot play. But don't expect to see a lot of Herald. But if you do, I think the deck is really good. But it just, I don't know. Then we have Formula Monarchs. Deck that me and Robbie have been talking about lately, and actually Josh Graham too, and we think this deck is very, very good. It has a lot of outs. It beats Sam's with I mean, it can beat Sam's very easily because it has a lot of outs with Shien, has a lot of stall with faders and all that stuff. It's a very, very solid deck. It destroys Sabers, but it loses to like Gadgets, Machina, Blackwings, you know, and you're going to see a lot of Blackwings, like I said. So basically, it's like you want a deck that has a good matchup against everything, but it's really hard to choose, you know. But the best cards to side against that are obviously Crevice, like I said before, because it removes all their frogs. Mask, Robbie personally likes Rug. It's a good card, it's very underrated. And DD Crow, yet again, are a good card. But like I said, if you're going to side Crows, definitely side Crevice instead. It's a better choice. It's like 2 of them. Next up we got is Plants. Been running most of the regionals lately. Very, very popular deck. It's lost popularity since people have been talking about Sams. But still a very, very good deck. It has a lot of very easy access to Black Rose Dragon. Which is, you know, out to Sam's obviously, but Sam's, you know, bad players are going to be maining I don't know, I forget what it's called, not the barrier card, but you know what I'm talking about. Negates the destruction for Sam's. Most people are siding it, so usually you can get away with Black Rose turn 1. I mean, not turn 1, game 1, but games 2 and 3, not so much. Plus this deck loses the, you know, Blackwings, and it loses the Sabers. So I wouldn't advise playing Plants on there, but you can if you want to. It's a really fun deck, and sometimes it just gets there. Up to you. Next deck we have is Machina. I think this deck is very, very good. I think the only reason this deck isn't maybe the best deck or one of the best decks out there is because cards like Chimera Tech exist, because they have Cyber Dragon, they have System Down. Like the side deck cards against Machina are just such a beating, it's ridiculous. But this, this deck, the best card side against Cyber Dragon and System Down. I'm sorry, I actually skipped over what the side against plants, I think. No. Oh yeah, sorry. Goes in match, works against plants too because they can't sync, Crevice, Crow, and Oppression. And then, like I said, Machina just Cyber Dragon and System Down. They have a really easy way to kill Xian because it just runs over Xian. He's 25. They destroy Blackwing because they out advantage them really easily. They just gadgets or just gear frames and Peacekeepers. I prefer just gear frame Peacekeeper build, but whatever you want to run, I think it really gets at Blackwings. It has easy access to kill Xian, so maybe this is a good choice. It's just make sure you're have a lot of hate for Cyber Dragon. Last deck I got is Saxhorn, Lightsworn. It's Lightsworn. Just gets there. Best cards, I guess, to side against it would probably Star Road, like you already have against Blackwings. I think you should definitely have Star Roads on your side, because it gets against Celestia and JE, which is basically their only two cards. That's the win conditions. And My Body, if you play against the Decree build, and Light Mirror if you still want to go back that way, but I think that's bad anyways, because, most people are running Decree, Sworn if they're going to run it at all. But yeah, hopefully, guys, this helped. This is what I would side. And like I said, I'm going to get at the Samurai side, and it's going to be a completely separate video. But check out my next videos, and I'll talk to you guys and see you guys in Texas.